Did you do it again?
Do what?
Start the episode while I was chugging water.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It is, though. Yikes. Welcome back to Reading Held Hostage, folks. My name's Blue, and I love to read.
And my name's Justin. I don't like reading.
Was that it? It sounded like there was more.
No.
Do you like the podcast?
I don't like reading.
Do you like the podcast?
I don't like reading.
We can stop right now. We don't have to do it anymore.
No, it's a good podcast.
All right, everyone. This is our last and final episode of Reading Held Hostage. You're going to be left on a major cliffhanger for catching fire, and you'll never hear from us again.
Bye-bye.
Tell me you like the podcast.
I like the podcast.
Okay, I'll start. Today, we are continuing Catching Fire. I think this is part... Oh my god, is it part 4? It's 3 or 4.
Dude, this is an early installment of Googling shit.
This is part 3. There's a lot of... I really like Catching Fire. It's my favorite book. So, Justin, tell me what happened last time.
Well, let's talk about what happened between last time and now.
I don't remember what's happened between last time and now. And I didn't ask about that. I asked what happened in the book.
Oh my god.
Talk about whatever you want.
I was going to say that we missed an episode, or like late episode.
Because of the puppies.
Because of the puppies, yeah.
So fucking tired, man. I'm never getting a dog again.
But you can. No, not you can.
Cincinnati Animal Care.
Cincinnati Animal Care is doing their My Furry Valentine, and we have 2 dogs from that.
Yeah, so if you're in Cincy and you want a pupper or a cat or a big doggo, the event is on the 18th and 19th.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they are so tiring.
Oh my god, they're so annoying too. I so prefer cats.
Yeah.
I'm a cat person through and through. I was like, maybe we'll keep one of the puppies, but we're still on the fence about it because, bro, puppies are a lot of work.
There's so much. And I hate it.
So Justin, tell me what happened in the book last time. You really don't remember any of it, do you?
The last thing I got is that they're back in the village after that guy got beat.
Gail got whipped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Katniss threw a temper tantrum when her wedding dresses arrived and went into the woods. And she met those 2 people who were going to District 13.
Yep.
And then when she came back, the electric fence was on.
Yeah. So I said all these things.
You actually didn't say really any of that.
Check the record.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Didn't say it.
Now I gotta put like some sound effects there or something.
Just cut it.
Okay.
Cut
the whole bit. Cut the whole bit. Fuck this bit.
Cut the whole first part of the podcast. Welcome back. So today we're starting off with chapter 11. So like I said, she realized the fence was electrocuted and she's like, fuck. She thinks perhaps Thread, the new head peacekeeper, Romulus Thread,
realized she wasn't in town and flipped it on.
Yeah, either he had just turned it on because like that was the new procedure, or because he knows damn good and well she's on the other side of it. And this is not her first time being caught outside the fence.
Yeah, so this is gonna be fun.
You gotta drink her water?
I was commenting on the book.
Oh, that didn't sound like you were commenting on the book whatsoever. Anyways,
it's because I'm holding a bottle of water. It didn't sound like I was commenting on the book.
You put the microphone away from your face because you're gonna chug.
I moved the water.
Can you stop attacking me right now? You're literally attacking me right now. So typically when she did get... Oh, are you drinking water? He almost...
It is not water. It is a brand of hydration salt water. I'm not giving him any clout. I'm not even getting close to it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to waste that $10 packet of juice salt water.
Water for salt hydration. And you almost made me spit it on our carpet.
I drink water like a normal person, so I don't need extra things to make me drink my water.
And now you're making fun of me because I'm dehydrated.
Yeah, I am.
And getting mad at me because I'm interrupting the podcast.
Let me talk. Typically when she had gotten caught outside the fence before, her family would like come by and see if the fence was lit up to make sense of why she was running late. But this time nobody's gonna come check on her because she deliberately like made things and said things to mislead them. She was like packing her food back. She's like, I'm going into town to give people food. But she has a feeling in her heart that this is not a coincidence, that this has happened. What?
You're on me this week. I moved. I adjusted in my seat.
Shh. Shut up.
Are you shushing me on our podcast?
Too loud. Shh. Are you done? God, you're literally throwing such a fucking fit right now.
We might need to record this even later.
Later? I don't have the energy to edit.
No, later on this week.
She starts moving along the fence line to find a tree that's like high enough so she can get over the 20-foot fence. Yeah. Finally, she finds a tree, and the drop is 25 feet. And
ouch.
Yeah, she's scared because it's almost dark, but like she has to. She can't find another tree because it's icy too. You know, it's just had that blizzard.
Ice baby.
Bum 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 bum. So it's really difficult for her. She falls, hits the ground feet first.
Ouch.
And knows very quickly, feet first, and then she hits her tailbone. And she knows very quickly that something is wrong with her left heel and her tailbone. But when she gets up, she knows something very serious has occurred.
Yeah, that's a non-fun one.
No.
Have you ever landed on your tailbone like hard?
Yeah, when I fell down that tree twice in a row.
Yeah?
Yeah, tailbone both times. And then I cut the back of my leg open. But I'm not a pussy. I met some stranger in the park who gave me her flannel. Cover up the blood. It was a lot of blood.
I don't even know what to say to that. Sometimes Blue sprinkles me with little tidbits from her childhood. I'm like, what the fuck?
Just a little bit of... I still have the scar. Not to brag or anything. I am. Where was I? She starts like working on an alibi, and she buys like her foot is in fucking agony.
I fucking bet.
She's buying sweets for Prim at the shop, and she thinks about it. And by the time she gets to her house, her heel hurts so bad she can't even step on it. And she's ready to collapse as soon as she enters the door, but there are 2 peacekeepers in her house. The woman looks chill, but the man has a quick look of surprise, like, what the fuck?
The woman and man peacekeeper?
Yes.
Okay.
And they go through a very goofy, like, faking politeness talk about how, like, the peacekeepers were just there because Thread had a message for her, and they want to know where she's been for these hours. She's like, oh, it'd be easier to see where I wasn't at. And also Peeta and Haymitch are there.
I'd be walking around this.
Well, they go through this funny thing where Haymitch, Peeta, and Prim all pop in on her lie. They all know she's lying, and they hop in on it. And she's like, well, I was over by the mines trying to get Prim's stupid goat pregnant, but Prim told me the wrong... Just let me fucking tell it.
Sus.
But Prim told me the wrong directions, and Prim's like, I did not. I distinctly told you this. And Peeta's like, I also heard that. And, you know, they're all kind of ganging up on Katniss and jumping on her back and all that kinds of stuff. And then Peeta ends up giving her, like, a hug and spinning her around, and she's like, because she's in pain, she, like, squeals a little bit, and he's like, what the fuck? But the peacekeepers let her know that the fence will now have 24-hour electricity. And she's like, didn't it already?
How would I know when the electricity is?
And she goes, surely we will all sleep a little more soundly knowing that security has now addressed that lapse. I'm like, fucking get him. That's me writing the most passive-aggressive email to somebody who fucked up. The peacekeepers are pissed and end up leaving, and that's when everybody goes serious. Her mom starts taking care of her ankle, tailbone, and heel. Her left heel is judged to be broken, and her tailbone just bruised, which is easy. And again, there's snow, so that's better than nothing. Like, if it was warm and you get hurt, you're basically dead. Like,
yeah. Tailbone break, dude.
Ugh, luckily it wasn't tailbone break. The motherfucker. She gets some sleep syrup to put her to sleep, and it's kind of just like, you know, a heavy dose of something, so she kind of gets a little loopy.
Opium, yeah,
probably. Peeta carries her upstairs, and she, being less inhibited by the syrup, she's like, will you stay with me till I fall asleep? And she's just going under, And she's like, please stay with me. And he says something, but she can't hear it back.
Are they doing lean?
Yeah, they got Sprite. No, that's not what lean is. Yeah, what is lean?
Lean and Sprite is
Isn't lean just cough syrup?
It's
I'm thinking a purple drink.
Opiate.
How thinky. We're talking
Lean's
about
an opiate.
Okay. She is the next morning. And she's exhausted. And her mother is like doctoring her, you know, which is nice.
Like a doctor or something.
Well, she doesn't let her mom do stuff for her like that.
Mm.
And she just lies there staring at the sky, thinking of her experience with Twill and Bonnie and her wedding dresses, wondering if, you know, the peacekeepers are going to come arrest her. She never thought she would want old Cray back, but here they are after a few days, and no peacekeepers have come to arrest her, so things are normal. And I didn't see it in the book. Maybe it comes a little bit later, but I think it's more important now, is Cray's an asshole. They're kind of portraying him as like a nice guy, but he used to take advantage of poor seam girls.
Poor seam?
Poor seam girls.
Oh.
Girls from the seam. And use them for prostitution.
Okay, so I thought the way you were saying that, like you weren't going to go into heavy topics.
I was
and then you kind of sledgehammered down on that last bit.
I don't remember where it was in the book or the when I was listening to it, but it feels like now's the time to say it. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we wish Cray was here, but like she also mentioned she's like she was 12 when she was just about 12 when her dad died. She was like, if I was just a year or two older, then I would have probably been one of the desperate girls at his door.
Yeah.
Ew, ew, ew,
yeah.
ew, ew.
Yeah.
I read this in school. Ew.
Yeah. See, it's okay if you write it down and then give it to children.
Yeah, because again, we can stop reading things.
My thing goes both ways.
Can you be more specific?
Movies need to be more loose, and books need some kind of warning system.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a warning system on books.
Yeah.
Because remember that book Dana gave me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was not cool. Great book. I just needed a trigger warning.
Yawn out.
What yawn?
Well, we just made it a bit, so I can't cut it out now. It's a bit now. It's every a bit day, she yawned. She yawned for the bit.
Every day, yeah, Peeta brings her cheese buns and works on the family book, which is the first time we've heard of this fucking book.
Dude, cheese buns, though.
I know. Maybe I should make some cheesy bread.
Oh.
Or mashed potato. We don't have any potatoes. This family book is an old book someone on her mother's side of the family started years ago as a guidebook for medicines and herbs. But her father added a section on edible plants. And she's been wanting to add to it, but she's like shit at art. But now she has Peeta. They work together on this book, and she likes...
my juice!
Mi jugo! That's what juice is in Spanish. Stop fucking touching the walls with your nasty feet. She likes to walk him work on this book, and she, you know, he does the art, and she adds the words. And she noticed that he has a very special look of intensity that she sees... she's seen only a few times in him, primarily when he does painting, a couple times in the arena, and when he talks to crowd. And I'm like, is that just focus? Is that what she means?
I've never seen this look of like keeping a one-track mind.
What's he building in there? She also becomes very fixated on his eyelashes.
Gay.
One day he notes that this is the first...
I said a gay.
Just do the arm.
Oh.
He's gay, guys. One day he notes that this is the first normal thing that they've done together, and, you know, they're both kind of like, yeah, I'm very glad to have this time with you. He takes her downstairs every day for a change of scenery, and she watches the TV. Nobody uses the TV, so they're all like, why the fuck is Katniss watching the TV? But she's very specifically looking for the Mockingjay on District 13 thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about it.
They're using the Mockingjay as a symbol.
No. You're right, but that's not what I'm talking about. they have like a District 13 like coming up, like that pops up, and it's like District 13 is still under radiation.
Oh yeah.
And there's a bird in the corner of the picture, and so eventually she sees this, and she sees the Mockingjay, and she's like, the reporter's not in District 13, so what is? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now we're on to chapter 12. All she wants to do is figure out what's going on with District 13 and how she can stop the Capitol, but she's very confined due to her injury. And finally, winter's gone, and she can walk normal. So we're doing a big time skip here. I know, I'm just going to keep talking through him scritching.
All right.
One day she wakes up to Venia, Octavia, and Flavius, who are there for her bridal shoot. They are distressed at her face from her whipping, but it's not a very large scar, and she doesn't want to tell them she was whipped, so she's like, oh, I fell. And she just zoned... What?
I fell into a whip. My whip collection, oh no!
She just zones out as they make her hairless, which at this point I just wonder what these, like, fixations Suzanne Collins has on being hairless during this.
Yeah.
Just let him scritch. Just let him fuck it up.
Leave a comment if you hear our boy scritching.
Of course you can hear him scritching. He's ripping cardboard up. He's enjoying himself. Did he pull the circle thing out of the circle?
Not yet. He's trying.
Okay. But she just has a very intense fascination with the hairlessness thing, which is kind of weird. And she's zoned out until out of nowhere, Octavia's like, oh, we haven't been able to get shrimps for months. And she's like, oh, Octavia, that sounds horrible. You haven't gotten shrimps? She's like, we haven't been able to get seafood for forever. Blah. And Katniss kind of perks up now. She's like, okay, like, what kind of other supply issues have you had? And she learns that they are having difficulties with districts 4, 3, and 8, which means there's a possibility of those districts rebelling.
Yeah.
It's then her photo shoot, and the whole gang's there. And the whole day goes by, and just like that, they're gone. It's really quick. And she's reflecting that her mom and Prim seem really happy. And she realizes it's because they think that she is safe. Does that make sense? Like, They think President Snow is good, but she knows she's not. She wakes up the next day really wanting to talk, so she goes to Haymitch, and they speak in a shorthand that wouldn't make sense to others, but does make sense to them, like how, people you're close to talk.
Yeah, they're gals that are pals.
They're just gal pals. But she fills him in on the districts she thinks are rebelling, and he tells her the possibility of District 7 and 11. What?
The possibility?
He did not say that. Although, Alfredo tonight?
Oh. What is that, number 3 for talking about Alfredo on the podcast?
Alfredo. I love Alfredo. Haymitch says that he doesn't think a rebellion would work in 12 because they're just so small that it would have to be an all or nothing situation. And then he makes fun of her District 13 theory.
Yeah.
Prim comes home. Again, this is just the next day, blabbing about a special announcement the Capitol has. And she's like, I think it's your wedding dresses. And Katniss is like, and it is her wedding dresses. Apparently, what? Okay.
You are on me.
I want to give you space to talk.
Okay.
You just fucking won't shut up about Hunger Games this, Hunger Games.
It's like, what are you trying to make a podcast on Hunger Games?
God. Where was I? So the Capitol people were given opportunities to vote on her dress. So her wedding dress gets picked. And then they say that they're talking about the Court of Quell. And they're like, what's going on? And her mom's like, they're doing the card. The reading of the card. And they do this really long propaganda story about the beginning of the districts. They read the past cards. So on the 25th year, the districts each had to vote on the 2 tributes who would represent them. Ugh. Revolting.
Oh my god.
I know, it's really hitting you. They had to vote on the children that would be sent to their dad.
Cool.
On the 50th year, Haymitch's year, double the amount of people went. So 4 children from each district.
Nice.
And Katniss's mom says something about how she had a friend who went that year. Her name was Maisie Donner. She was a merchant. And
did she die?
Yeah. Well, oh, you think you're funny. But her mom's like, I got her canary after she died. And then they read the 75th card. This is the quote. As a reminder to the rebels that even the strongest among them cannot overcome the power of the capital, the male and female victors will be reaped from the existing pool of victors. Or the male and female tributes will be reaped from the existing pool of victors.
Yeah.
Her mom gets it, immediately shrieks. Prim starts crying, but Katniss reacts with confusion. What could that possibly mean?
Do you think it's the brain damage?
It's the brain damage, because then she finally realizes that she will be going back into the arena as the only female tribute from District 12.
Yeah.
And we're taking a quick kitty break, and there's a kitty girl in front of me, and she wants petting.
This has probably been the most distracted episode that we've done.
I think all of our episodes are distracted.
You got ADHD. I got a podcast for you.
I don't have it. Oh, okay. Chapter 13. She goes into flight mode, and she's running, but she doesn't know where she can go. She can't go into the woods because of the fence. And then, she wakes up in a cellar of one of the empty houses in the Victor village. One of her hand is bleeding, and she's just screaming until her voice is almost gone. And she's just thinking, like, I did not see this coming.
Yeah.
She's like, the deal was, if we won, we're out of the reaping for life. But here it is. Here's this.
Yeah.
And she can hear people searching, calling her name, but she doesn't pull anything, or she doesn't do anything but pull a plastic sheet over her body so she can start warming up. And she's realized she's glad she won last year. Because that means, because the other victors, like Haymitch, have known everyone for at least 25 years. And then this is when she realizes that Haymitch or Peeta are going to have to go back into the arena. And she cannot let Peeta go. So I think in the movie they portray Katniss as very selfish for having this reaction.
Yeah.
I don't think even though I think Katniss is a brat, I really don't think she's selfish for this reaction.
No.
Completely
it's like,
reasonable.
Hey, I don't want my friend to go back. And you're an old alcoholic man.
Well, she had I'm going to go back in first, then the people.
Oh, yeah.
That was the reaction she had.
You have a gun pointing at your head. You're going to think about how there's a gun pointing at your head first.
Yeah. It's like in an airplane, you're supposed to put your face mask on before you put your babies on.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But this thought makes her move. And she leaves through the glass door she must have broken to go to Haymitches. He's alone, obviously drunk as fuck. And the first thing he says is, finally did the math, sweetheart. What are you even here to ask me? And he's like, Peeta was already here begging me to go in, to let Peeta go into the games. And he goes, what are you here to ask me? Are you here to ask me to die? And she realizes that is kind of what she's asking. But instead she asks for a drink because she feels really bad. She's there to ask him to die.
Yeah.
That's literally what she's there for.
Yeah, there's not an easy way to...
Or that's at least the first thought that goes through her head, because she does ration it out here soon.
Let Peeta live.
Well, she chugs some more, chugs some alky, and she's like, well, you might as well go in. It seems you hate life anyways. And I'm like, I hear what you're saying.
Damn, you depressed bitch. Get out of here. Oh my god, that's what Canada's doing.
Canada?
Is it not Canada?
What are you talking about?
The assisted medical...
Euthanasia?
Yes.
I think that's mostly the Scandinavian countries.
Well, some country just did it, and they are allowing it for mental health.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it's kind of country-assisted suicide.
Yeah.
What's the number?
988. He points out, which is what Peeta pointed out, that the first time Haymitch chose to keep Katniss alive. So now this time he's got to keep Peeta alive. But Peeta's argument was, since Haymitch chose Katniss the first time, Haymitch owes Peeta and therefore must protect Katniss. Does that make sense?
Why wouldn't Haymitch be better to go in? He's still been practicing this whole time.
No, he hasn't. But do you hear what I'm saying? Is Peeta's argument is, you chose her the first time, you do this for me now. to make up for that.
Yeah.
And Haymitch says that Katniss could live 1,000 lifetimes and not deserve them. And she's like, yeah, he's the best out of all three of us, but what are you gonna do? She's like, that's fucking obvious. He's like, I have no idea. Whatever it is gonna be unbearable for him. Because again, he's known these people for 25 years.
Yeah.
Katniss finally realizes what she's asking him. She tells him, all I want you to do is to save Peeta, no matter what. Which is reasonable.
Yeah.
He agrees, and she heads home, drunk, to find Gale at her house. And he apologizes because they should have left when they had the chance, and they can't go now. She passes out and wakes up hungover and vomitous. Ooh. And she showers, and she notices she has stitches on her left hand, which her mom must have done while she was asleep. She struggles to be strong, older sister syndrome. She struggles to be strong in front of Prim and her mom. So she's like thinking, like, how am I going to joke about this? How are we going to? And then she sees them and fucking breaks down and crying.
Yeah.
And she gets held by both of them until she falls back asleep, which I think is like a good moment of weakness for her.
What a wuss, though.
What a wuss?
What a wuss.
You're such an asshole.
Just die.
Oh my god, you're such a dick.
Skill issue. If you don't think you can make it through, it's a skill issue.
She knows she thinks she can make it through, but she knows Peeta's the one who should make it through.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're just being really mean to Katniss, right?
Hell yeah.
I was mean last book. She wakes up and appreciates that Prim and her mom are being so strong. She's like, oh my gosh, Prim's not the little girl that I left. Which, like, yeah, duh.
Yeah. She was like 99% sure her sister was going to die. She grew up.
Yeah. She brings some broth over to Haymitch. They drink a lot of broth in this program.
Good broth.
This book. Does broth have calories?
Good broth.
I mean, it's fine if it doesn't, but like...
I don't know.
I don't either. I think it wouldn't have calories.
I think, like... Every time I see a broth, I see 30 calories or something.
Oh, it's like milk, almond milk. Haymitch and her are just like vibing in silence with their broth until Peeta comes downstairs with all the empty liquor boxes and says, it's done. And Haymitch goes,
what's done?
And Peeta goes, I poured all the alcohol down the drain, and also I paid Ripper off and threatened that I will throw her into, like, I'll turn her in if she gives you any more alcohol. And Haymitch is like, and Peeta's all fucking business. He goes, 2 of us are going in and 2 of us are coming home. 1 is a victor, 1 is a mentor.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got a plan. Effie is sending us all the recordings of the living victors. We're going to watch them. We're going to learn. We're going to put on weight. We're going to get strong, and we're going to act like careers. And he's like serious because he just like leaves.
Yeah. And
in the little bits of time, they start acting like careers. Peeta starts watching the old games, and Katniss realizes she's never met any of the old victors. Peeta takes a lot of detailed notes, and Haymitch kind of like gives him more info after knowing these people for 25 years.
Does every whatever they're called have a victor?
District?
Yeah.
Yeah, each district does manage to get at least 1 female and 1 male victor. Okay. I don't know how. Where am I? Yeah, they eat a lot of food and they work on combat skills and more. So Haymitch struggles a lot in the first
They're doing their Rocky montage.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're my little sister, Faith, Al Pacino.
The Al Pacino movie, Rocky.
Faye goes, I have the most embarrassing thing to tell you. And I was like, I can't wait to tell people on my podcast about this. And she goes, so I was watching, I think it's Scarface. She's like, oh my God, Al Pacino's a really good actor. I can't wait to watch more Al Pacino movies.
Like his famous movie?
Rocky. She watched Rocky. She was like, wow, this guy, he must have gotten some work done between movies.
This Al Pacino?
He doesn't look exactly the same. I'm like, hey, that's the best thing I've ever fucking heard.
She's seen the Rocky movies
No, she hasn't.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because remember, I only saw them after I'd gone to Philly and all that. And every time I was in Philly, my dad'd be like, that happened in Rocky. Look at this thing. This was in Rocky. This was in Rocky. I was like, I've never fucking seen Rocky. Then I finally watched it like what, 2018? I was like, oh, I've been there. Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there.
Like in Rocky.
Yeah, pretty much. Where was I? Oh, Haymitch struggles a lot. Like, it takes his body like 3 to 5 weeks to really get into even minimal shape.
Again, I'm surprised he didn't die.
Oh, yeah. From the, yeah. But Katniss and Peeta really start getting good. Gale even helps them by showing off all kinds of wilderness skills he has. And one day he talks to Katniss and he's like, it would just be way easier if Peeta were easier to hate. And she's like, I know.
Same spot,
It
dog.
would have been great if I could have killed him
spot.
in the arena, and that would have been really fucking nice, but this is where we're at.
Yeah.
And Gale's like, what do you think our relationship would have looked like if we weren't in the pictures? If he wasn't in the picture? And Katniss is like, are you fucking for real right now? She's like, are you fucking for real? Because she goes, we would just be hunting. She's like, there's no point in talking about things that can't be. Which, like, she's kind of given up completely on Gale. There's nothing she can do. She's going to die.
Yeah. Simp boy over here. Simp nation.
Gale. Literally, Gale can suck it. What do you think it would look like if I don't know, Gale. I'm going to die. I don't really have time to think about that right now.
Yeah.
Jackass. Fucking hate Gale.
Hey, why are you training to survive? What about me?
What about us? I don't know the rest of the words. She makes all these big, like, thought plans about how she's going to tell her mom, Prim, Gale, about everything, like, her whole heart in the time before she leaves, when she gets to say goodbye to everybody. How much Gale meant to her, how they weren't going to be a relationship, but they could, you know, like, she's got all this stuff planned.
What do you think would be worse if you're going into the Hunger Games as you're called, you have an hour with everybody, you go. Mm-hmm. Or knowing for months you were going to be in.
Knowing for months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be worse. Because they go the opposite. I mean, Katniss started withering away. Like, the way her anxiety works.
Yeah.
She started withering away during the victory tour. Like, she wouldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. But Peeta's the one keeping her on track for this. She's not doing it. She'd wither away again if she could. If her goal now wasn't to keep Peeta alive.
Yeah.
So on the day of the reaping, it sucks.
What?
In the movie depiction of this is a really good one because Effie has to struggle to get Katniss's name out. And she's like, Katniss. And then she has to struggle to get one of the boy names out. And it's unfortunately Haymitch, which means Peeta is able to volunteer. And they are quickly pushed through onto the train.
I double dog volunteer.
Triple dog. And she has no time to tell Gale how glad she was to have loved him in the limited way she could. And she can't say goodbye to her mom, Prim, or Madge. And this is when the 75th Hunger Games begins. How are you feeling so far?
It's a book.
Can you give me a little bit more than
It's the most book of all time.
Little bit more than that?
It's definitely better than I would say all the books we've read.
Pissing me off.
Bonus episode.
What? Which bonus episode?
Handmaid's Tale.
You liked Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Why? That was the most depressing out of everything we read except for the Warrior Cast where Blue Star died. Handmaid's Tale is not as bad as Blue Star's death.
Change my mind.
You can't. It's impossible.
Okay.
Did I get you with that one? Alright. This is going to be a short episode because I only have one more chapter.
Let's just end it here.
No. I have one more chapter.
We're sick.
Notes. Tell me how much time you think we've been recording.
I don't know the concept of time.
Tell me how much time you think we've been recording.
30 minutes.
34. Let me finish this chapter. Chapter 14. She just stares at the woods fading away, knowing she'll never see her family again. And Peeta's having the same thoughts about not being able to say their last words because he's like, we'll have to write them letters and Haymitch will deliver them. She's like, I'm never fucking writing those letters. The words were supposed to go with acts to her loved ones.
Yeah.
And there's just not anything I can do about that. She obviously wants to fall into a deep depression, but knows that her mission is to keep Peeta alive. And she can't do that. Effie is subdued, just like she was at the reaping. But the food is great, so she.
I thought you said some dude.
Effie's just some fucking
Effie's
dude.
some dude. Like,
where'd this guy come from?
I was like, did Effie just turn into a random stranger?
Transgender icon, Effie. Yes, queen. Actually, though, no, not transgender icon. Probably more like a drag queen icon because she fucking rocked it. Who plays her? Elizabeth Banks in the movies. She's really good.
Really, Elizabeth Banks?
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. It just doesn't.
You've seen the first movie with me at least 100 times.
I don't recognize Elizabeth Banks in that movie.
It's because she's Effie Trinket. Anyways, food's really good. They're like digging in, they're gonna enjoy the food while they can.
Munch it.
Effie's got like gold hair on, and Peeta's like, they're trying to do conversation. They're like, oh, Effie, I really like your hair. And she's like, I had it done to match Katniss's pin. She's like thinking that they can each get something gold to match since they're a team. And she's like, since we're a team. And she notices like even how much struggle Haymitch is having not drinking. So she's like, she sends her wine away, which is not a big thing. But like, this is somebody from the Capitol we're talking about who literally sends children to their deaths.
Effie did?
Effie sends her wine away, seeing how hard Haymitch is
That's
struggling
cute.
with his alcohol issue.
Yeah.
Like, that might not seem big, but that's like, again, come on. Real human beings in real life don't notice those things as often. Haymitch is pissed because he's like, if he had been sent to die, then he'd be able to drink.
Yeah.
But he's not now. He's got to keep these two alive. Oh, this last chapter is good because we learn how Haymitch won the games.
Oh.
So they start watching the recaps of the reapings with Peeta taking diligent notes. We learn that 75 out of the 75 victors, 59 are still alive, which is an insane amount of victors, honestly.
Yeah.
Because what, if the oldest was 16... Blue Googles. Justin, do the song.
Blue Googles.
Yeah, so if... That means the oldest tribute was probably around 75-ish.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Isn't the Water Dad's mom, grandma person?
Madge?
No. The one that's going to be...
Mags. Finnick.
Yeah.
Why'd you call him Water Dad?
I don't know what to call him.
Finnick. His name.
I don't know I didn't know his name until you said
the
it.
guy from District 4.
I didn't know what district it was.
You watched me bawl my eyes out in the book. No spoilies. I'm not talking to you. I can't believe you just called him Water Dad. Is the Water Dad's old lady parent? That's what you just fucking said to me. It's the Water Dad. Obviously the pools of victors are still the largest pools of Water Dads.
Splish splash.
I was taken of that. Are largest in 1, 2, and 4. But all other districts had at least one male and female tribute. Haymitch is obviously struggling to watch his friends get picked to die, knowing that he's going to have to do his best to keep Peeta alive.
Yeah.
And Effie makes comments
He's working for their demise.
Yeah. Effie makes comments in her own way about, like, how somebody would feel at the Capitol. She's like, oh, not Brutus. Or, oh, not what's-her-face. Or, yeah, he never could stand away from a fight. It's like, Effie, come on. And Katniss has her own notes because she's, like, really, really bad at remembering people.
Effie's treating them as characters.
Yeah. Which makes sense. That's what she was raised to behave. Yeah. And she's, like, now recognizing how this is not fair with Katniss and Peeta getting picked again. Katniss notes that the tributes from District 1 are brother and sisters. Are a pair of brother and sister who won back-to-back games. Like that? How does that happen? It's
Did they volunteer?
Yeah. Because they probably volunteered as soon as possible. But it's like... You have to, because like in those districts, it's like, oh, and it's like all you can hear. Yeah. So they have to figure out who volunteered first. But yes, a brother and sister.
Why at that point would you not just do the raffle of people who want to do it?
I don't know.
Hey, everybody who volunteered, write your name down. We're putting in another raffle.
Not as fun
raffle
that way.
2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
We already did that last episode. Was named that. One of the people from District 2 is a volunteer named Brutus, who looks very eager. District 4 has our water dad.
Oh, water dad.
Finnick, who's just like insanely handsome. And he is the youngest victor ever. He won at aged 10. Oh no, he won at age 14 10 years ago, so he's 24 now.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying makes sense. Okay. The woman from District 4 is some like crazy woman. But an 80-year-old-ish looking woman, probably one of the oldest living victors, who walks with a cane, volunteers as tribute. She can't even say it. She doesn't, her mouth doesn't. Then District 7 is Joanna Mason. She's the only living female victor from that district. And she won, like, in the last couple years by pretending she was some crazy, weak little girl. But at the end, she fucking destroyed motherfuckers with an axe.
Yeah.
Then from District 8, there's a woman named Cecilia. She has 3 kids, and she had to tear them off of her as she got selected.
Cool.
Then Chaff from District 11, who she knows particularly to be one of Haymitch's friends. Which is sad. And even the people in the Capitol are upset at this. They're like kind of tearing up in the retelling of it.
Yeah.
She tries to sleep, but obviously it's just nightmare fuel. So she wakes up, orders some more milk, and finds Peeta watching. I know, just fucking move past it.
Oh, I can't sleep. Get me warm milk. I'm gonna drink it.
People like that shit. It literally makes me want to throw up.
If you drink milk, turn it off.
Gross. Yeah,
turn
what the
it
hell's
off.
wrong with you? We don't want any stupid milk drinkers listening. We only want that liberal almond or oat milk shit. We want that extra liberal oat milk shit. You know almonds are bad for the environment. Where was I? Okay, so Peeta's watching the old games, and he stands and offers her a hug. And this is kind of a sweet moment because she's really happy because in the last couple months, he's been like a complete fucking hard ass. And this is like a romantic hug because he buries his face in her hair and gives her a little neck kiss. And she's like, ooh, tingly. And I'm like, but
we're just buds.
Well, they don't let go for a while, and Katniss just thinks, she's like, I've said my goodbye to Gale. I can't be in, I can be in love with Peeta for the cameras and have, like, whatever my other feelings are for these last couple weeks without feeling bad about it.
Yeah.
Which, I get.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm literally going to die. I think I can do what I want.
Yeah.
The Capitol attendant bringing them milk is what warms them up. Is what breaks them up. He's kind of sappy.
Do we need to put a trigger warning on this episode? Milk. Someone drank milk.
Got milk. That's what this episode title is.
Ugh.
And the Capitol attendant's like, I put some honey in there. And you guys enjoy. And Katniss is like, what the fuck was that? And Peeta's like, I think the people in the Capitol are really actually upset about this. Like, they get really attached to their champions. Katniss picks the next tape they watch, and she picks Game 50, Haymitches year. And they hadn't watched it before because, you know, he's like, they're like, he's on our team. We wouldn't need to fight him.
Yeah.
But it's also the only quell they have, so they feel like they should watch it just because it's the only quell they have.
Yeah.
So this is where we learn Haymitch's game, which I think this one's good.
It's a pretty lit way to kill kids.
If I saw this one, if I was in the Capitol, I'd probably be like, that's a game to remember. Which feels gross. But
pretty lit kid killing. Let's kill those kids.
Extra kids died this year, too.
It's awesome.
So, what happens, the reaping. A female name gets called, and it's Maisley Donner. Her mom's old friend. And Peeta notices in the video that her mom is actually there hugging Maisley Donner. And she also notices another girl that looks almost identical to her, possibly a twin, is there with her. And Katniss realizes that that's actually Madge's mother, the mayor's wife.
Oh.
So Katniss now has a crazy realization that her Mockingjay pin, that didn't mean much to Madge, that was her aunt's that died, Maisley's, now has a different meaning to her, knowing that Maisley was the previous owner. Haymitch gets called, and Katniss is like, he's actually pretty handsome.
Damn.
Dark hair, gray eyes, and he's clearly, like, kind of strong.
Yeah.
He's 16.
He thick?
Probably not thick, but strong.
He thick?
No, I just said no.
He thick?
No.
Okay.
Then it's interview time with Caesar Flickerman, because Caesar Flickerman's been doing it for 40 fucking years. And Haymitch is able to pull off snarky and arrogant. Easy peasy.
Because he is.
Because he is, yeah. Then the games begin, and as they enter the arena, it is, like, so fucking pretty. Like, the most beautiful, picturesque scene that anyone has ever seen before.
Yeah.
Like, fluffy clouds, like, bright pink flower. Kind of like what I imagine Whoville would look like.
Yeah.
Not imagine. What I've seen pictures, and I'm like, that's what Whoville would look like.
Yeah.
But, like, outside. And they can tell that, by the way, some of the contestants are sniffing, that it must smell really good, too. When the gong sounds, Haymitch is off and gathers a backpack before everyone is off their stands because people are so distracted by this, but not Haymitch. And in that first day, 18 people die in the bloodbath.
Jesus.
And as they continue, they realize that pretty much everything is poisonous. Only the rainwater and food from the cornucopia is safe to eat. Haymitch has his struggles in the woods. There's carnivorous squirrels, butterflies that sting, but he just keeps moving very, very, like, strictly in one direction.
Dude, fucking carnivorous squirrels.
Squirrels already are carnivorous.
But, like, ones that are mad about it?
Yeah. Ones
That's
that are trying
scary.
to eat humans, yeah. Maisley is resourceful, so I want to... They only talk about Haymitch and Maisley, but there are 2 other candidates from District 12 in this.
But they don't have names.
No, they don't. Maisley is resourceful. I will say Maisley gets down to, like, the top 5, too.
Oh.
So that's probably why this video only shows them, and also Suzanne Collins didn't want to write about 4 characters.
Yeah.
Like I said, Maisley's resourceful. She got a backpack that had a blow dart in it, which she quickly turns into a blow dart gun, which she quickly turns into a poison blow dart gun with all the available poisons around her. 4 days in, a mountain erupts as a volcano, killing 12 more players and half of the career pack, which was which was 10 people, I think, in the career pack. Then by day 5, only 13 people are left out of 48, which is insane. And for some reason, Haymitch just continues in one direction, and he eventually encounters some careers, and he's fast. He's able to kill 2 careers.
Jesus.
And Maisley kills the 3rd. So 2 kids from District 12 in this game killed 3 of the careers.
3 of the 10.
Yeah. Already pretty embarrassing for the Capitol.
Yeah.
They form an alliance, and she's confused on why he keeps going the one direction when they eventually reach the edge, like a cliff face. And she goes, there's only 5 of us left. She reaches the 5. Like, good for her. And she's like, we should split up because I don't want to be the one to kill you. So they do. And she heads out. Haymitch observes the canyon and at one point kicks a rock into it. And within a few seconds, it pops right back up to the exact same spot that it was. And he's like, what? But then he hears Maisley screaming. And Haymitch runs to go find her, even though their alliance had already been
dissolved.
Mm-hmm. To find her skewered through the neck by a bird with an extremely long beak.
Long stick.
And he holds her hand as she dies, which is very reminiscent of the Rue and Katniss situation.
Do you think the bird was still in there?
No, I don't.
Okay.
2 more people die that day, and then it's eventually just him and the career woman from career girl. She's a girl from District 1. What? Oh, I thought you were making fun of me because I was like, she's a girl. But she is a girl. She's a girl. They fight, and they have an absolutely insane bloodbath of a fight. Like, Haymitch is basically disemboweled at the end of this. He gets disarmed, and he starts, like dragging himself towards the canyon while holding his intestines in. She follows. She doesn't have an eye anymore. She's bleeding. You know, they're both really, they're both not even chasing each other. They're both kind of walking in the same direction. Yeah. And
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. She throws the axe at him, and it falls over the cliff, and they both fall down bleeding when the axe comes back up and kills her.
Oh.
And Peeta recognizes the force field as the one in the training center that would push them back up so they couldn't commit unalive.
Ah.
And Haymitch turned this into a weapon. And Katniss is like, that's so funny. Because not only did he turn it against a weapon against the tributes, he turned it into like a weapon against the Capitol. He made them look dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
That must be why they don't show his games, because she never recalled seeing his games.
Yeah.
She's like, that's why they don't show it, because it almost makes them look as bad as our situation with the berries.
Yeah.
And Haymitch behind them now says, almost, but not quite. And he's drunk off his ass.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, brother. And she's happy that she got to know him in this way. What?
Where's his keys? Get this man his keys. Have you been seeing that?
No, what's that?
There's like a meme of pro drunk drivers.
What?
Yeah.
What are you saying to me right now? There's no way.
Yeah, it's a joke about being pro drunk driving.
That's interesting.
After 12 shots, all you really need is a good pair of keys.
Oh my god. Katniss is happy because she's happy to have gotten to know Katniss.
Katniss is so happy to know Katniss.
To know Haymitch in this way and to have watched his games, because surely two people who can cause such a fucking mess for the Capitol can at least get Peeta out alive.
Yeah.
And that's how we end this chapter. How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah. What do you think of Haymitch's games? I liked it.
I liked it. It's pretty dope.
I wish it was more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's nice to get that perspective of Haymitch.
It would have been cooler if he'd like trick shotted it, like pretended like he let go of it when he was actually throwing it backward into the force field.
And then it came back and hit her.
And then, yeah, it came back and hit her.
Yeah. But he was holding his intestines.
Yeah, but before the fight, you're like, I'm gonna get you. Wah, wah, wah. Oh no, I went backwards. My only weapon.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So check us out next Tuesday, hopefully, unless we change our day. Follow us on the TikTok. We're really fucking funny. Leave us a review.
And we talked about how this episode was going to be late.
Yeah. Turn on the post notifications for the Spotify. And
you know when this comes out. It might...
Yeah.
Who knows?
You don't even need to know the date or time, because time's fake anyways. It'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Easy.
Time's a flat circle, and our podcast is on it.
Our podcast is a big triangle on that circle.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review or 0 on Spotify. It's right under the follow button. It's easy. You don't even have to leave words or anything. Anything else to add?
I don't think it lets you leave words.
It does not. Anything else?
I'm ready for Betty Bye.
Betty Bye. It's literally 7:15.
All right, bye-bye.
And you have to edit the podcast.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.